Well, this is going to be fun. Right click on that. Okay, right, here we go. I've never used Windows 7 before. This is brand new software that I've just downloaded with a view to recording a video, and I haven't got a bloody clue what I'm doing. That's the white orangey thing. So this is my skeleton Excel workbook for my football competition, which is an excellent fundraiser, I have to tell you. And I've not seen this before either. This is new to me. I don't think we'll bother with the new office. We'll just go with this. So I'll just do a quick run through of what all these tabs are down here. They're all the same but different, if you see what I mean. And I don't like this mouse. It's on a laptop because this is my daughter's laptop and not my PC. However, here you can see this is the player scores tab, and the year of the season, as you can see, in this case is 2015. The first Sunday of the season was the 9th of August 2015. Sunday last week was the 1st of November 2015, because that's what it was when I stripped down this year's competition. But that really ought to say 9th of August 2015 as well. That month should say August. None of this is relevant. It's because it's just showing you around the player scores tab for the moment. It'll all become relevant later. And that Sunday this week should be the 9th of the 8th, 15 as well, because it's week 1 of the competition. And as you can see, when I figure out how to work this, nope, that's not it. Well, I'll try it with the arrows. Yeah, as you can see, at the moment we've only got one player called AN Other. And AN Other's name here is taken, or is typed in, and AN Other here is typed in, and AN Other here is typed in text. The lookup here looks up AN Other's player tab, which we'll come to in a minute, to see what his total points are. That works out how many people there are playing. No, I don't want to change the colour scheme, thank you. And this one tells you, pardon me, whether they've gone up or down since last week. And last week is here, where you can find AN Other. And we don't want to be doing that. AN and Mr. Other again. And once again, the points here are looking at his tab, but they're looking at the same week because it's the first week. But if this was the second week, this would be looking at last week. You'll just have to bear with me on that. This one here is the manager of the month section, and this looks in a slightly different place on the players tab for what his monthly score is. This one here is the weekly score, and that again looks in a slightly different place on the same player tab for what his score was. So this will all become relevant later on. Right now you don't need to worry about it. When you're starting off, that's all you need to worry about. There is what year you're in, what's the date of the first week of the season, what's the date of the first week of the season again, because it's the first week, is last week, so there'll be no change. What's the month of the first week of the season, and what's the date on the Sunday at the end of the first week of the season, which once again will be the same because it's the first week. It changes as the season goes on. So what the workbook needs to know is this: And here is a similar grid to what you see in the newspapers, with all the teams in the Premiership listed alphabetically from Arsenal at the top to West Ham at the bottom. And you will also note they're listed in their away games from Arsenal first. Oops. Well, that doesn't appear to be doing a whole lot. There you go. To West Ham last. And you just put in the scores in here. So if Arsenal were at home to Bournemouth, you'd click in here and you'd put 1-0, or, you know, preferably 0-1 if Bournemouth won. And that's all you do on that. And then the other side of the coin, oh, will you go away? God, I knew I should have stuck with XP. On the other side of the coin, the Championship is the same grid. The League One is the same grid. League Two is the same grid, all obviously with different teams, of course. This is just a tab I use to put on my website, and it will not all be false references once there are scores and teams and everything in there. This is all the absolute basic skeleton for writing your new season. Same with Manager of the Month, and same with weekly. Sort of skip weekly there. But when it comes to team points, you can see everybody has scored no points. This is all worked out automatically by the workbook. There's not much explanation required here. Now, this is Mr. AN Others tab, which will be recreated for every player we have in the competition. So I'll just show you what's what on here. This really is a lot easier on my PC than it is on a laptop, because I do not like them. As you can see, Mr. AN Other has chosen Manchester United, Everton and Leicester in the Premiership. You'll see where these choices come from when we get to the entry form. And I really didn't want to go that far over there. I wanted to be back where we were. And he's got Middlesbrough, Nottingham Forest and Fulham in the Championship, Bradford, Oldham and Coventry in League One, and Crawley, Pompey and Accrington in League Two. Now over here you will see this score here comes from the grid, which I've already showed you, where you put the scores in. If Arsenal had lost 1-0 at home to Bournemouth, then their points would be reflected here. This score comes from elsewhere, which I'll get to in a minute, but it does make life an awful lot easier for you when you make a mistake, and it is usually you that makes the mistake if those two figures don't match. All of those are then added up to give you your Premiership scores, your Premiership teams scores, and your Championship teams scores here, League One team scores here, and League Two team scores here. They are all then added together to give you this figure. Now over here you can see we've got monthly scores, and it goes from July to June to allow for a 12-month season in case anything happens, like a World Cup in Qatar, or, you know, a big freeze that means there's going to have to start a season a month early and finish it a season late. And all of these figures are got from the player scores thing. If this asks me this one more time, I'm going to slap it, I'm telling you. Go away. So you can see it's AH57 for July, AH58 for August, 59 for September, and so on. And these figures are sourced over here, which, as you can see, when I get there, right, we've got each week listed down columns T and U, all Mr. A and others teams are to be seen up here. And this is all automatic. You don't have to do any of this yourself. It's all going to happen automatic. So all the teams are there. And in week 1, all the scores they get will be added up here. And that will be the weekly score. And it's added to the running total. Now here, week 2, same thing, adds up the weekly score, but here it adds the 2 weeks together. So you've got your running total. All of which is relevant only because of what's down here. So here is the total points for your first choice in the Premiership, your second choice. Oh, goodness sake, God, I hate laptops. Your second choice in the Premiership, your third choice, and so on. And your total points are here on your weekly scores. Now over here we have your monthly scores, which are ascertained by these. Oh, this is doing my head in already. Get off. Oh, for God's sake. Right, that's what we want. And this is all, you know, what typed in manually here, but oh, I hate laptops. God, I hate them, especially in the dark. And this is all reading the month and the year from the player scores tab, I think. But anyway, oh, for fuck's sake. Right, then all these scores, monthly scores, are added up accordingly. And I think that's probably enough for now, because it's pissing me off. So we'll leave that for now, and I'll come back and try again at some later point. But at least I'll know if the video is being captured when I can find the mouse. And if the video is being captured, then it wasn't a complete and utter loss of waste of time, I should say. Except I can't find where the video thing is. Is that it perhaps? Ah, yeah, that's it. Well, let's try that. Okay. Stop.